She thought she was protecting passengers by asking a man in a MAGA hat to leave the flight. What she didn't know? That quiet passenger owned the entire airline. One decision, one mistake, and her career would change forever. Stay tuned for the twist that shocked everyone on board. Comments below, where are you watching from? And if you like and love our story, kindly subscribe our channel, Life Inspirational and Motivational Tales that explore themes of love, unity, and patriotism. Stay with us always for interesting stories. Let's start the story. The airport was alive with energy, a seamless blend of hurried footsteps, rolling suitcases, and the constant hum of boarding announcements. Travelers moved purposefully through the terminal, some clutching coffee cups, others focused on their phones. Against this dynamic backdrop, Emily Parker stood poised at the boarding gate, her uniform immaculate and her demeanor exuding authority. As a seasoned flight attendant, Emily thrived on precision and professionalism. For her, each day wasn't just about ensuring safety, it was about maintaining harmony and respect among passengers. Emily greeted travelers with her practiced smile, her eyes scanning the crowd with an air of calculated attentiveness. Families with restless children, solo business travelers, and vacationers all passed her gaze. Each interaction was second nature to her, part of the intricate dance she performed daily. But as the line thinned, a man stepped forward, capturing her focus instantly. Richard Hartman, a man in his late 50s, approached the boarding gate with quiet confidence. His attire was simple, worn jeans and a comfortable shirt, and he carried a book under one arm. What stood out, however, was the bright red MAGA hat perched on his head, the bold white letters, "Make America Great Again," stark against the vibrant fabric. The sight of it froze Emily for a moment. The hat wasn't just an accessory to her, it was a statement, one that triggered a cascade of assumptions and emotions. Richard nodded politely as he moved past her, entirely unaware of the storm brewing in Emily's mind. He found his seat in economy class, adjusted his hat casually, and opened his book. For him, it was just another flight. But for Emily, it was something far more significant. As the boarding process concluded, Emily stepped onto the plane with her usual composed demeanor. Yet her thoughts churned, the image of the red hat refusing to leave her mind. Inside the aircraft, Emily moved methodically through the aisles, assisting passengers with luggage and ensuring overhead bins were securely latched. Yet, her gaze kept flickering toward Richard, seated calmly in row 17, his hat standing out like a beacon. Each glance fueled her unease. Her frustration bubbled over as she returned to the galley. "Can you believe it?" she muttered to Sarah, a senior flight attendant known for her level-headedness. "He's sitting there, flaunting that hat like it's no big deal." Sarah raised an eyebrow, her tone even. "Emily? It's just a hat. He's not causing trouble. Let it go." Emily shook her head, her jaw tightening. "It's not just a hat, Sarah. It represents division, and I can't ignore that. It's my responsibility to maintain a respectful environment." Sarah sighed, her expression weary. Your responsibility is to keep the flight running smoothly. Don't let this become a bigger issue than it needs to be." But Emily couldn't let it go. To her, ignoring the situation felt like a failure of principle. Determined to address it, she made her way back down the aisle during the pre-flight service. Stopping by Richard's row, Emily plastered on a strained smile. Her voice carried a subtle edge as she said, "Interesting choice of accessory." Richard looked up, his expression calm and polite. "It's just a hat," he replied evenly, before returning to his book. The simplicity of his response caught Emily off guard. leaving her momentarily speechless. She moved on, but her frustration simmered. Back in the galley, she vented to Sarah once more. "He dismissed me like I was the one being unreasonable. I'm not letting this slide." Sarah's tone grew sharper. "Emily, don't escalate this. He's not breaking any rules." But Emily was resolute. To her, allowing Richard to continue wearing the hat meant failing the other passengers. She decided to take formal action. Returning to Richard's seat, she addressed him firmly. "Sir, your hat is making other passengers uncomfortable. I'm going to have to ask you to remove it." Richard closed his book, meeting her gaze steadily. "I'm not bothering anyone," he said calmly. "I'll keep it on." Emily's patience wore thin. "If you don't comply, I'll have to escalate this," she said, her tone clipped. Richard's response was measured. "Do what you need to do. I'm not removing it." The tension in the cabin thickened as passengers exchanged whispers. Emily signaled for the security officers stationed at the front. Moments later, Richard was escorted off the plane. He remained composed, collecting his belongings without protest. As he reached the aisle, he looked at Emily and said quietly, "This decision will have consequences. I hope you're ready." The next morning, Emily arrived at work, her confidence intact. To her, the incident was resolved. She had acted decisively to ensure the comfort of the passengers. Yet she couldn't ignore the curious glances and hushed conversations among her colleagues. That afternoon, a group of executives arrived at the airport, their presence commanding attention. They requested a meeting with Michael Grant, the airline's owner. Emily, unaware of the context, was soon summoned to a meeting room. As she entered, she froze. Sitting at the head of the table was Richard Hartman, now dressed in a sharp suit. Gone was the casual attire and red hat. His polished appearance radiated authority. "Miss Parker," he began, his tone calm but firm, "allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Michael Grant, the owner of this airline." Emily's confidence crumbled as the realization hit her. The man she had confronted was her boss. Michael recounted the previous day's events with precision, his tone steady but unwavering. "You allowed your personal biases to dictate your actions," he said. "You didn't assess whether I was causing a disturbance. You escalated the situation unnecessarily." Emily tried to defend herself, stammering about maintaining passenger comfort, but Michael interrupted, his voice cutting through her excuses. "This airline stands for respect and inclusivity. Your actions violated those principles." The weight of his words left Emily speechless. She realized her intentions had been overshadowed by poor judgment. Michael gave Emily two options: resign immediately or enrolled in a mandatory training program. The program would require her to confront her biases and rebuild her professionalism. Emily chose to stay. Determined to make amends, she committed fully to the training. The sessions were grueling, but they forced her to reflect deeply and grow. As weeks turned into months, Emily transformed. She approached her role with renewed empathy and professionalism, rebuilding trust with colleagues and passengers alike. Her journey became a cautionary tale, one she shared with new flight attendants during training sessions. Under Michael's leadership, the airline flourished. Emily, once a symbol of misjudgment, became a testament to the power of accountability and growth. Her career wasn't just restored, it was redefined by the lessons she had learned. What would you have done in Emily's place? Have you ever experienced a moment where a quick decision led to unexpected consequences? Share your thoughts and real-life stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that inspire and challenge us to think. Comments below, where are you watching from? And if you like and love our story, kindly subscribe our channel, Life Inspirational and Motivational Tales that explore themes of love, unity, and patriotism. Stay with us always for interesting stories.